Welcome everybody, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination, where we talk about the physics of our realm via a little bit of wisdom and some intelligence, a little bit of illumination up here. I think I'm the only person in the world who has some footage of the moon's holographic projection into the atmosphere waving as a helicopter goes by. For years, I mean ever since I started investigating this flat earth stuff, I started off with the moon, and within a few minutes with my P900 I realised it was just a holographic projection. You only need a couple of biscuits out of a packet to realise that, you know. But you know, people are so brain dead. So anyway, I was lucky enough to capture, outside filming one night, the moon. I think it was nearly full, well, not far from it, and 8:30 at night. You might see it on my channel there somewhere. Along comes a chopper, very noisy. So it's very close. You can hear it on the video, and then the image of the moon started going like this. Okay, so once you realise it's a holographic projection, then you can start thinking a little bit deeper. And I've just answered, there was a good video on TikTok, so I put a comment in there and it got me thinking. I thought I explained it quite well. So then you've got to understand, you know, if the moon would have been within a mile of me, right? The chopper's just there, the moon's probably even closer, probably 500 meters. So then you start thinking, well, how does that work if you see the moon come up behind a hill or a mountain or whatever? So then you start thinking about 3D magnetic depth, which takes you to some of these Ken Wheeler videos with the ferrocell. Because you look down, there's all that 3D depth, it's not there. So then there's a lot of other representations of this online. People have discussed it, how the fact, you know, you're like a pixelated screen. You're in there, you think you're moving, but it's the world around you. It's just flipping, just like the old original videos you used to watch, the pictures flipping through the pages. He's not actually moving. So it goes a lot deeper than that, but you've got to realise, you know, man's personal arc of horizon, and he is the centre of the universe. Even physicists say this, you know, describe it like this. And you've got this depth perception. It's not really there. It's due to magnetism. Our toroidal field is electromagnetic. So, and we all understand magnetism because, you know, it's like our whole toroidal field realm comes out of the black hole centre, which you can consider as like a ring magnet, like a ring magnet. It comes out of here, but it's a hidden hole at the centre Arctic. The toroidal field comes out, which is basically, you could say it's the flux of this magnet. We live in the flux of the magnet. This would be the Earth. So in the dead centre of this thickness is the centre of the Earth. That's the inertial plane. In the past I've called the sea level the inertial plane, but it's not. It's been the centre of this, whatever this plane is, the inertial plane. And we just dwell on the positive side of it, right? Well, out of this, hidden in the centre is the black hole. That's the inertial plane right down there, and it just comes out in a toroidal field, it's the hyperboloid centre of the magnet. But it's all due to magnetism, and magnetism, well, out of the black hole comes the sound. So once again, it goes back to magnetism, doesn't it? Because, you know, you can't have a speaker without the magnet, right? And our ether is electromagnetic, and this is how we create sound. There's no sound coming out of it's in the air. The sound, the magnetic illuminated realm is creating the sound. So you've got to understand depth perception. So the celestial bodies are different to the earthly realm we're in, like this, the denser atmosphere. So the celestial bodies are coming beyond your perceived physical reality, basically. Because I've experienced this when I look out into the sea and see the moon rise. You could just tell that it's not that far off, but it only gets further out if you have these perceived physical things in your view. Then it's pushed out. But it's all right there. It's all thanks to our eyeballs. Our eyeballs are tuned to the black hole. Basically, the frequency coming out of the black hole. The black hole is pushing the sound, but it's the sun on its horizon that holds the tune, and in a combination with the sun and the moon, it creates the frequency. Okay, there's the offset, the back EMF, you can call it, of the moon. This delay is the 432 hertz. It comes from in there. We have this 432 hertz thing going on all the time. We don't perceive, but it's part of creation with this delay between the sun and the moon. So it all goes back to the flat earth design. You can't understand any of this if you don't understand the flat earth design. And so that's the way you've got to see things. We're in our own personal space and we get our magnetic depth. So we are like, the sun illuminates it like the light around the Pharaoh cell in these Ken Wheeler videos. It illuminates the depth. Okay? See, when night falls, you lose that depth about tenfold. And, if you're out there and there's nothing else around, just the moon, you could just tell the moon's just there. And so are the stars. Okay? A lot of images just show you this 3D depth. You can never gain on them. You can move as close as you like. They'll just keep moving away like a carrot dangling in front of a donkey. You can't get there. It's just holographic projection. It comes to the point where they just disperse away from you, around you. I've noticed this on an aeroplane at night. So all that it's all of the mind. It's just the way our minds are tuned in this realm, and it's thanks to the sun. The Freemasons, they know the sun is the creator. The sun and the Father are one, but they're two. The sun's right there on the horizon, right here on the horizon of the black hole, right there. It won't fall in, but turn over. Whoop, fell in that time. It's sitting there on the horizon, and it's going, and it moves around. Moves around. Well, the horizon is in there. The inertial plane's back in there, so that's probably why it wants to go back in there. Look, see, the inertial plane sits in there. So the sun is right on its horizon. You can say it's spinning around its horizon, but it's not in the hole, because that's the electrostatics where the two fields come together and create all the electrostatics to illuminate the sun. And then nothing goes into the hole. Inside the centre of the hole is fixed and stationary. There's no action going on there. This is why Earth is from the hole. They tell us Earth is from the hole because it's fixed and stationary. So once you get your head around that, knowing it's all magnetic depth, it's perception, and the celestial bodies are just not part of that, they will always be pushed out further and further and further. Like the sun isn't that far away, but it gets pushed out in our image. So all that depth, like 10 miles away, isn't really 10 miles away. It's there. It's right there. Because like the ferrocell, you're looking at its side and there's nothing. There's no depth. But then you look down inside it, there's all this 3D depth. Okay, there's something to think about. It's reality actually, but whether people can handle it or not. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching.